Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. I am just being crazy and I'm getting all sorts of bee stuff. Partway through putting my hive together, and I just got in the mail my honey extractor. It seems like there's bottom end cheap shit, and then way up here is the professional grade stuff, and there's no in between, which is possibly what I would have gone for. So I bought this on Amazon. Exact same thing is available on eBay. 15 different names, but they all look exactly the same. There's a couple different varieties. There's 2 frame, 3 frame, 4 frame. I don't know what they're called, but there's this style where the frames are this way, and there's other styles where the frames are that way with relation to the axis in which they spin around. I settled on this one. This is a 3 frame. It'll fit a large, medium, or small frame. The downside of this style is that you have to spin it once, then flip the frame, and then spin it again to extract both sides. But at any rate, this is what I went for. It's $138 from Amazon, free shipping, all stainless steel. Made in China, I'm sure. First, it comes with instructions. The first thing to do, throw them right in there. If you can't figure this out, you probably can't tie your shoes. But anyway, it comes mostly assembled. I just want to talk about just a little review of my thoughts. This gearbox, right out of the box, got chips in the enamel. Is it a problem? No, but I think it's kind of crappy. Comes with legs that bolt on there. They're just plain old stamped steel, but they are stamped and nothing else. No second op to remove the razor sharp edges. They do put in the manual, caution sharp edges, but they don't bother to knock the edges off. So I just took a file and smoothed them down, because of course you're going to be grabbing the legs every once in a while, so you don't want to cut yourself and bleed everywhere. So I just knocked these edges off. Got some other parts and pieces here. This is the honey gate that goes on the bottom of the barrel, of course, to let the honey out. I haven't looked too closely at it. It seems decent. It has an O-ring there for sealing, and this is like a bulkhead fitting. There's another O-ring there. That O-ring looks a little wonky, but I'm sure it'll seal just fine. One thing that strikes me is another cheap move here. No washer on that wing nut. Look at that. There's no bearing surface at all. It's just corner to corner. So I'm gonna find a stainless steel washer in my collection and put that on there. This is the crank handle. What do you expect? It's a crank handle, plastic handle, plenty of mold flashing there, and the lock screw has nice tight threads, as you can see. Some of the reviews on Amazon mentioned this loosening up on you while you're cranking it. I can see why. Maybe some Loctite or something will remedy that, or maybe I could drill all the way through this and the shaft that this goes on and put a bolt all the way through it. But we'll see how that goes. Well, I'm putting the legs on, and it's fitting just fine. But once again, high quality thread fit. And also, now that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure. Everything's stainless steel, but it looks like this threaded insert that's pressed in there. I'll give you another shot of one that doesn't have a leg on it. That threaded insert looks like zinc chromate plain steel, not stainless steel. So, not a big deal, but if everything else is stainless, why not make that thing stainless too? But anyway, the thread fits terrible, and it comes with this chintzy, thin, crappy little washer, and the washer is no bigger than the head of the bolt, so it doesn't do a damn bit of good bridging this huge hole that is in the leg. Well, Because of course the hole is generously elongated to allow for manufacturing irregularities. But once again, once this is tightened down nice and firm, I don't think it'll be an issue. Maybe I'll put some Loctite in there too. Alright, I put the honey gate on. It went on without much issue, but actually now that I'm looking at it from this perspective, look at this nut. They didn't even tighten that nut. That's the pivot nut. I guess I can tighten that down a bit or put a lock nut on there or something. It would be nice if the face of this honey gate was contoured to fit the barrel, but I guess that's what that big ass O-ring is for. Now, something I read in some of the reviews, there were people complaining that the gearbox gears stripped out after 1 or 2 uses, and of course customer service was worthless because it's some Chinese garbage. So I decided to take a gander inside the gearbox and see what there was to see. Just took off these 4 screws and 2 bolts holding this pillow block bearing here. This is just looks like a standard bronze bushing or something, nothing really to concern yourself with there, probably an oil light. But took this off, and lo and behold, look in there, look at all the grease that they packed in there. See all that grease? And look at all the grease they packed in there. These gears seem decent. They look to be machined. They're not plastic. They're not you know, super crunchy looking. But I did hit this with a file a little bit. That's that shiny spot. The file didn't totally dig in, but it didn't skate off either. So the hardness seems fairly decent considering that it's made out of Chinesium. But seeing as there's no grease in there. Oh, and I found it funny though that they put some cooling fins on here on both sides, just like those really cool rear end axle differential covers you see. The cooling fins means lots of horsepower. Who knows why they put those fins in there, but no grease, just a light coating of some thin oil or something. So I'm going to pack this full of grease. Also I'm going to maybe either cut a gasket or use some RTV so the grease doesn't come out and get in the honey. I mean, there's going to be a lid here anyway. And I might drill and tap this for a grease zerk. And I don't know, I might need a relief so the grease doesn't get forced out somewhere. I don't know, it might just come through that bearing. I don't know if that's a sealed bearing or not. I can't quite see in there. But anyway, so grease this. I think that'll definitely increase the longevity of your Chinesium honey extractor. Well, I decided against putting a zerk in there. I just packed that full of grease and I sealed that with RTV. I kind of had some second thoughts as I was putting it together. It's too late. If it becomes an issue, I can take this apart. But I highly doubt either of these bearings are sealed. They are shielded but not sealed. So it is possible some of the oil from the grease can leak down through that bottom bearing and come down the shaft here and get everything messy here. But you know, for storage I can wrap a rag around here so it'll collect any oil that may drip out. Also, I scraped the grease from the top and sides of my container, and the oil that had separated out of the grease was already pooled in the bottom of my container. So I think we'll be okay. And you know, I was considering after the fact putting like Crisco in here or something. That would probably work pretty well. But anyway, as I was putting this together, these sneaky bastards, these are the bolts that hold this down. That looks like rust, doesn't it? This is a plain carbon steel bolt. They used it because you can't see it. They even put acorn nuts so you can't see the tip of the threads. All the visible shit, that's all stainless. Just to save, you know, who knows what, half a penny or whatever. It's probably the world's shittiest stainless steel. But anyway, what can you do if it really bothers me or if it rusts? I'll just take these out and put some stainless ones in. One other thing that I thought I'd just mention, kind of unrelated to, well, sort of related to this, but I got to give the manual some credit, and believe it or not, I read the manual, instruction manual or whatever. It talked about cleaning after use, and that was one of the things I was not looking forward to. Just like back when I made cider, I had my fruit press. It's a bitch to clean everything. It's a process. And it said you could clean it with soap and water and all that, or bring it out to your beehive, set it next to the beehive, and the bees will clean it up. And that's just fucking brilliant. So obvious. I wish I thought of it, or at least read it somewhere else other than that crappy instruction manual. But if it doesn't occur to you, like it didn't occur to me, that's a pretty good, easy way to clean up, especially not wastefully clean up the excess honey in your extractor. And that'll go right back into the hive, to the bees, and the cycle continues. Of course, you'll have to do some final cleaning, soap and water, but you won't waste that honey. Well, I'd say that about covers it, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty quick and easy. I guess you get what you pay for, but you know, for at least a beginner, a hobbyist like myself, I think this is a pretty good way to go. Of course, just after I bought this, I happened to see on Facebook Marketplace a 4-frame extractor for $100. I paid $138 for this. What can you do? But so I guess lesson learned. You guys should, look in your local ads and stuff to see if somebody's selling this kind of equipment before you buy. I should have known, but I just didn't think I would find it. I'm better at finding old rusty junk bulldozers and stuff on Craigslist. At any rate, the packaging bag it came in is a pretty good storage bag, so the dust doesn't get in it when it's sitting in your basement or in your house. So I'll bring this inside and can't wait till I get to use it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out my other videos. I'm doing some other videos of my bee projects like I showed you here. I got this hive that's going together. I'm making a video of this as well as I'm working on it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for more.